Hello, hello. We are live with Elysian Road. We're here. We're ready. I'm pretty excited because Elysian Road. It's always a good time.
Yeah.
And as always, start the flashback. So I think what we see is we see Dylan, obviously. And Dylan, you are. I think we see you in the video game store that you used to work at.
Yeah.
What is Dylan doing?
Probably taking inventory, just kind of
Right.
looking at the shelves, taking note of how many of which video games are in stock.
Yeah, so we see you with like this legal pad, and you're just like writing down like the stock and stuff. With like an actual pen, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
You can use an actual pen.
Yeah.
They don't teach kids that anymore these days.
That's so TL2.
I mean, it's a bit
Exactly.
a bit less even than TL2. Or I'm sorry, a bit more than TL2.
Depends on the kind of pen.
It does depend on the kind of pen. I'm thinking like an actual just like a ballpoint pen.
You know, like an ink pen or like a quill?
Yeah, like an ink pen.
Okay.
So you're not talking like a 4D stylus or anything?
No.
Nothing as basic as that.
That would be TL3 probably, or something.
Yeah, well, again, Zanless has like a weird mix of like TL2 to TL4 stuff.
But I imagine the TL stuff that they have is probably not their stylus, right? Like
no.
TL stuff. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
In dirt with how our hand shovels here, but we have this nifty pen.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Right. It's that kind of weird thing. So yeah, we see Dylan taking inventory of all these games, and I think what we see is we see a couple of games, like we see like Evercraze 1 and like stuff like that, right? Things that like we aren't familiar with as 21st century Americans. But then I think we see like maybe like Halo 63 or something like that, right? Like and like a bunch of things that are like, obviously things that we're familiar with, but like far into the future. We see like
Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
Fortnite still exists.
Just
Oh my
Fortnite.
gosh.
Yeah. A physical copy of Fortnite.
Not a sequel. It's literally just Fortnite.
Yeah, just Fortnite.
Just cargo culted the same engine over and over and over again, from platform to platform, years and years and years into the future.
So we see her taking inventory on that, and I think we hear someone like come into the store, and I think it is I think it's your father, Dylan. Kind of like walks in, and it's like obviously apparent that like he does not belong here in any way, shape, or form. So that I'm assuming this is that you worked in the store in Evangelia, because like obviously you're too young to have done so in the previous dome you guys lived in. And so we see your father walk in, and he kind of like looks around awkwardly. It's like a linebacker walking into like a dance class, kind of, right? It's like that sort of situation where like
football players take ballet lessons. Okay.
he's obviously out of place. He obviously doesn't feel comfortable being in here. But he's intimidated enough to it doesn't matter. No one's gonna like tell him to leave. Kind of a thing. That sort of situation. So he steps in, and I guess like Dylan probably like glances back and sees their father, and they like lock eyes, and Gregor says, Dylan, I was just I came by because I was on my way to listen. I want to apologize for the other day. I was telling you that it didn't matter what you did here. It was pointless and useless, and I want to apologize for that. I know this is important to you, and I don't mean to make light of it. I just worry that, well, Evangelia is Zenless is a harsh place, and listen, I'm sorry. I guess it sounds like I'm even trying to hedge my apology here. Let me just stop. I apologize. No excuses. Will you forgive me?
Oh, I'm responding to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she looks up at him, and at this point she's like 14, so she's probably like she's just glad that her dad like said sorry, so she like looks up at him, like kind of smiles a little bit and is like, yeah, of course.
Good.
Flashback, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you had me confused there for a second.
Because remember, he was talking about like the game store. There's an imaginary argument that hasn't been shown on screen that he's apologizing for. So he says,
Wait.
Good.
This is her dad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Okay. I know what's going on now. We're good.
Yeah, he says, good. Well, I just wanted to let you know that your mom's making. Actually, I don't know what she's making for dinner, but I'm sure it's gonna be great. She told me. I must have slipped my mind. There's a lot going on. I'll see you at home.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good day, kid. And then walks out. And what do we see on Dylan's face as we fade out from the flashback?
I don't know, slight smile.
Yeah. So we see Dylan just have, a slight smile on her face. And then we fade out to Dylan on the Void's Grace. And what does her expression look like present time?
Blank.
Just kind of staring off into nothing.
Yeah.
Where are you in the Void's Grace?
Probably in a room reading her electronic Bible.
Okay. Yeah, where are you reading? What book is
she's
Dylan
probably
made it to?
Yeah. I'm trying not to make her get too far ahead of me so that I know what she's been reading.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say she just got to Joshua because that's
Okay.
right.
Sure. Cool. So maybe she's reading the account of the Wall of Jericho, and just as a
Yeah.
a cultural touch piece where people would be able to see what's on the screen and be like, oh, that's what she's reading. Okay, I understand. Yeah. So we see her.
Wall of Jericho, right?
The space wall of space
It's
Jericho.
the space translation of the Bible. Translates everything so that space people can understand.
It's the space blockade of
The space blockade of Jericho.
So it's a trade blockade.
exactly.
Oh
Bunch of
dear.
Semicircle ships. Unbreakable blockade.
Not only are we translating operas into space, we are translating the Bible into space. You know that there probably is some sort of weird translation of the Bible where everything is actually just space in space
Oh,
instead.
gosh. Yep.
That's Scientology.
There's a gangster Bible.
There is a
Of
gangster
course,
Bible.
yeah.
Pigeon
Yep.
English Bible. Now that's one of the weirdest things I've ever read.
What'd you say?
Pigeon English.
Yeah.
That's supposed to.
I think someone made a Klingon translation of the Bible.
Well, that's just awesome. So.
I think that's a thing that happened. Anyway, none of those are what
Does it
Dylan is
make
reading.
Sense? You can be a missionary to nerd culture.
Yeah. She's reading
She's reading the Greek translation.
Right, exactly.
Because that's
Yeah.
it's her first language. So.
She's reading the Septuagint. Obviously not the original Greek because
Yeah.
you don't know how to speak ancient Greek.
Yeah.
But
Speaking Space Greek.
Space Greek.
Yeah.
Oh, darn you.
it's Greek.
I don't know. It's all Space Greek to me.
Okay.
Oh my. So yeah, we see Dylan reading Reading Joshua. So, I think. Well, so what's like going on with the crew, right? Like, what's everybody kind of up to? Right, you finished your mission. You got paid, but there are some unfinished business for sure. At the very least, Dylan. You had said, Carly, that Dylan probably would have a thing that she's going to end up doing. I'm sure Till might have a thing or two. But then there's also the whole thing of, like, Evelyn and Till specifically. You guys are definitely aware of the fact that you may have awoken someone or something in the Evangelia in the dome that might be a risk to the citizens. So
It's fine.
you could for sure just leave because nobody knows.
We should just bounce.
But
Ode is for bouncing.
because I don't think anyone else but Till and Evelyn know about this. So
Which case, yeah, Ode's probably expressed the assumption that we're leaving.
mm-hmm.
Because I don't know that we have any other reason why we wouldn't, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm probably just in my room, like reading or something, which is probably not a thing he does very often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's going on? What do you guys want to do? Evelyn, Till, Fergus.
Evelyn is training her mind. Wait, are we on the ship?
Yep.
But we're still on the planet, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Okay, yeah.
We're
Evelyn
on the ship
is-
on the planet.
Yeah. Okay, hold up. So we haven't figured out who disabled the drones or anything yet, right?
No.
Or try to
You
take
guys did that,
back
didn't you?
control of the dome,
Oh.
the dome security power or whatever.
Nope.
Okay.
You know that something took it over. Like there was obviously, and whether or not that is a living entity, like a person, or if it's just like the programming like took over or something like that, right? Like you're unsure. It seemed to you, Evelyn, that someone was like actively like undoing your hack and like trying to regain control of the drones.
Okay, well, I'm okay, let's start off with this. I bring Zeva to
Right, I
Oh, I
forgot
forgot
Zeva
about
existed
that.
for a second.
I bring Zeva to her room.
Okay.
Still can't believe you guys did that.
And
So our room.
well,
Awkward.
no, I figured I'd give her a different room than ours.
We don't have a different room,
There's
do
not a
we?
different room.
So
Oh, yeah, I guess I bring it to ours then.
Who? I'm curious. Here, let me
Crap, I didn't think about
pull
that.
us over to the voice space because I just. didn't
Okay, as a
think
little
of-
bit of
I mean, we have like high-tech air mattresses. It's fine.
Oh, by the way, Josh, this is what
Governments.
the
Are
monster
just
looked like
acting
in
bent
its
for it?
entirety
what is this noise?
on the
Why
roll
is there a
20.
giant-
Is that cool?
Oh.
Remember that was
Oh,
the
I love
monster. Yeah,
That's amazing.
isn't that awesome? Yeah, one of
That's
the coolest
incredible.
things I've found.
What happened?
Creature on the
It's the monster.
screen there. He took it off now, but just the full picture of the creature that we
Oh,
saw last time.
yeah.
So I mean, I think it might be time for you guys to switch rooms, because there's only
yeah, there's
right.
no beds in the other one.
Yeah, exactly. There's more beds in the other one, so maybe the girls take over the guys. Maybe that's what's happening actually, right? Like, is
Oh,
you guys
there
are switching
go.
rooms.
Oh my gosh, this works perfectly for my plan.
So how does this
Like-
conversation go? I don't.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how this is going.
Yeah.
Ode has been firmly instructed that he is to move his stuff to the other room.
Mm-hmm.
By who? By Till?
Yes.
So Jill hasn't said
Puts up a
anything
fight
about
it
Zeva?
first. If he puts up a bit of a fight about it, he'll be firmly instructed that he has two options. He can sleep on top of the very, very hot and annoying and noisy fuel tank, or he can sleep in the other room.
You have to choose the fuel tank or else he wins.
See, I feel like I don't know if Ode's in the mood to take Till's crap today, so that's why I'm trying to think about what he would do.
Still's not in the mood to take any crap at all.
Ever.
Yeah. Except that Till doesn't shoot things that he's annoyed at, so that's why I'm.
No, that's true.
That's why it's a
Till
consideration.
just maroons them on radioactive desert planets with bombs.
Nothing but sea turtles to get them out.
Sea turtles, mate.
Sea turtles and a rope made from back hair.
Yeah, so I think maybe he just gives you like a blank stare, like, and just shrugs and starts to walk around and grab his stuff.
Cool.
Oh, I'm gonna be so much further away from the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what?
Seems like there's fewer people to intervene when Fergus decides he wants to cook something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. This is probably good for Fergus. He has the kitchen right there then.
Oh, and you guys don't get the annoying doorbell anymore, do you?
Yeah. Man, we're switching everything up.
Okay, so real quick, I believe that Hannah Jacobs is watching, so we should give a little bit of a recap as to what exactly happened last session. And I feel like we never ever give like recaps.
Yeah, that's maybe
That'd be
something that we
helpful.
should do.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We killed a monster.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
We killed many monsters.
The
Yeah.
last thing we need is to delay the start of our game more than normal. We already start a half an hour late as standard.
So what we
So-
do is that we
Start our game on time and then do that.
That's good. Yeah.
start our game on time and do the recap, and it won't take away any time
I'm-
from the stream itself.
I'm super fine with that.
Okay. All right. That sounds fine.
Wait,
Good
did
deal.
I just committed to leaving work on time on Friday?
Well done.
Oh
What?
crap. Okay. Anyway, so real quick, just for Hannah's sake, my character is Evelyn Leidner. She is 16, and yeah, she's kind of sociopathic.
Just a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah. I guess we
Carly's
never really do
character is-
character introductions
we
either.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should probably at least do that.
That's
We should do
probably a
that.
good idea.
Carly's character is Dylan.
I think
Bernie-
she could probably
Bernie
introduce her
Wheel made
character,
us.
I think.
She
Made us
uses a
automatically do
sword.
it.
She stabs things.
Well,
I don't
she
know.
stuns them.
Yeah.
Now.
She stabs monsters.
Stuns humans because killing is not good for the mind.
But what if the humans are the monsters? Then what?
Yeah,
Boom.
then you just gotta suck it up and kill him.
Yep.
If you kill a killer,
Is it
what's
really
the same
killing?
number of killers in the world?
I mean, but here's the thing.
What if one killer kills all of the
Mathematically,
killers?
two negatives.
What if
is
one
positive.
killer kills all of the
So-
killers?
Yeah.
That's what I was
See,
going
here's
to
the
say.
thing. What you've said is that if you want to kill bad guys, you have to kill at least two. Is what you said.
I mean, the same amount of killingness stays in the universe, but it just
Well,
gets more
no,
concentrated.
because-
you know.
There's you and the other two. So you kill those two, and now there's one less because there's just you, and then those two
Right.
are gone. And if you kill
But nothing can be created nor destroyed.
Okay,
David,
this
come
is
on.
so irrelevant.
It can only be transferred.
Okay, so then
Yeah,
David,
transfer their souls somewhere else.
David's character's name is Ode.
It's a bit
Old
odd.
anger.
It's spelled ODD,
I mean, yeah, the
not to be confused with
overlays
OCD.
or everything.
Yeah, or ODing, which is
Mhm.
also another thing he does. Yep, and I stun things with a laser rifle.
They're
and
all former pro gamers.
Yeah,
yes, I used
that's
to
an
play
important
first-person
thing.
shooters. Yep, and now I play real person shooters.
Real
Yep.
person shooter.
I used to be a grand strategist video game person.
Yeah,
And would like
Stellaris.
roll, yeah, like Stellaris and like real-time strategy where I control armies and stuff like that.
Space StarCraft 5.
But
Mhm.
StarCraft is already in space.
Dylan played adventure
That's
games.
the redundancy humor.
And then we have Jared's character, whose name is.
Yeah, good luck.
Fergus. In the very
We just call him
long
Fergus.
last name.
I mean, to be fair, that's his name. It's just not his whole name.
Great recap, guys.
Jared.
Yep, good
Oh,
job.
This is going so well.
Jared.
So we came to a planet because Dylan's dad hired us to kill a monster. We went there. He was a jerk. Then we killed the monster, and it spawned a bunch of baby monsters. And those baby monsters got into the town because Dylan ran my motorcycle into a gate and almost killed us. And
Yeah.
then we killed them after they killed a bunch of people, and then Dylan's dad was more of a jerk, and then we got paid, and now we're here. I think that's
We did get paid. Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. We got
Remember
paid
you
'cause we,
realized
like,
last
rolled my
session
ass
that
to
you
be
didn't
paid.
actually have the money that you
Yeah.
should have had.
Oh yeah, we didn't. I didn't actually record it. I just said we should get paid so I can get XP, but I didn't. Oh, wait, did we record the money?
Yeah,
Oh.
20,000.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, and then so
Dee-dee-dee.
Jared's character, his name was Fergus, and he used to play puzzle games, and he's also kind of sociopathic, but he's super innocent and is really good at talking to people. So none of us
And-
expect much.
The other thing, like where he's psychic, is kind of important.
Oh yeah, telepathic powers.
And so is Evelyn. So
Yeah, I have psychic powers too. I can see the future. Forgot about that.
Fergus can heal and come back from the dead and bring other people back from the dead and turn them into a frog. All right.
He also has telekinesis and can he has finger guns.
Yeah, he has telekinesis shotguns.
Yeah.
And
It's great.
also can do something else. I think. Don't you have 3?
We can tell the difference
Telepathy.
between the different
Yeah,
kinds of
telepathy.
players we have here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Start to
All right.
describe Jared's characters.
And then we've got Till, who's the pilot and the only adult on the ship.
And Dylan's uncle.
Yeah, Dylan's character is 17. My character is 16. Dylan's character. Carly's character is 17. My character is
Josh.
16. David's character is 15.
Yeah.
Correct? And then Jared's character is 13.
I'd like to express my disappointment that Josh did not name his character Bob, so that her uncle could be Bob.
Oh my gosh.
Your uncle. Anyways, all right, moving on.
wow, wow.
Just saying, disappointed. All right.
Sad and sad.
Anyway,
Fergus is trying to kick me out of my room. So.
Yeah, get out of here. This is Ferguson.
So I mean, the
once-
thing
once-
that I'm curious
Spray
about
painting his name on the
right?
wall.
is how absolutely disgusting is the guy's room.
Ugh.
I like to think my half is completely neat and tidy, and his half is just filthy
I mean-
trash monster.
I feel like Ode's half would be messy until he cleaned up the food containers and picked up his 2 shirts, and then it would be clean because of the things that he had.
There's a difference between clean
his
and
video game.
tidy. Ode. It would be tidy,
mean-
yes. But have you dusted in 6 months? No. Have
I
you
mean-
vacuumed at all? No. Have you changed your sheets? Twice.
I mean, I probably don't have sheets on my bed anymore. They probably fell off a month ago. Oh, I'm only saying that because it happens in real life, and I don't put them back on. So
Connor, you're probably not gonna. Oh wait, no, that's not Dylan. That's not the bed you want to sleep on.
Oh no, I'm in the wall. There you go.
So
I'm just gonna make it known the second they leave their room, I steal. I find each of their a strand of each of their hair.
oh,
And I
that's so
keep it.
weird.
okay.
Yep, that's weird and creepy.
That's
am I there while you're doing that?
oh
Just,
right. Oh
ruffling through their-
Fergus, I know what you're
mattress.
doing.
You know what I'm doing.
Oh, that's
I mean,
fair.
perfect.
To be fair,
I'm scared now.
Oh,
I'm
two
gonna roll
adults
a
in that
sneaky.
room, the likelihood that their hair is not going to be everywhere is next to 0.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I, as a player, know what you're doing. Ode has no idea what's happening, so I'm probably.
So yeah, I mean, go ahead and.
Yeah, so I
just write
throw my
Fergus
shirts
is
onto
hacking
my
Bedfort
mattress.
2.0.
Yeah, I'm just what are you doing?
I'm cleaning these. These women. They get their hair everywhere.
Dude,
Okay.
I thought I was weird.
I mean, you still are.
Can I roll? Can I roll a talk to convince you?
I mean, no, you don't have to do anything more than what you just said. He's just okay, you're weird, whatever.
Oh man.
You don't have to convince Ode that you're weird.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't clean. He doesn't know what cleaning looks like. It's fine. We've apparently established that he's messy, so.
I mean, you're a teenage boy who was a pro gamer. I mean,
Right.
Seeing and helping the girls move their stuff and seeing the mess that is Ode's half of that room, Till is very glad that he decided to use a space air mattress.
yeah.
Instead.
Cool. So what does it look like, Evelyn and Dylan, when you show Zeva her place on the ship and help her
Oh,
get
yeah.
situated?
Okay, so
So this is her token, by the way.
So cute.
Wait,
Ziva.
and I clicked and it went away. Okay, so I just point of order. You know that's a guy, right?
Aw.
No, it's not a guy.
Sure. Wait, hold on.
No, that's a girl.
Okay, is that not
I'm pretty
from Sword
sure.
Art Online?
Yeah.
That's a guy.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Kirito.
But
Alright, sorry,
the-
moving on.
in
Awkward.
the game, in the
I mean, they do confuse him for a woman in the show. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay,
show,
I just-
his avatar
Technically.
in the game is a female avatar.
No,
Kind
I
of.
mean,
It's
no,
a
it
very
just looks
effeminate
like a
avatar.
female avatar.
No, so
Anyway,
the
so-
picture that I got this from is very obviously a female.
Is it a gender bent version? I mean, I guess a gender straightened version. Since it should be a female.
My goodness.
Okay, I only saw her face, his face.
It's very obviously a girl in the picture that I got. so.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I was just disturbed for a moment, but it's okay. All right.
I mean, the fact that like 3 of us jumped on the whole make sure you get it right is maybe a little more disturbing.
I mean, it's more a commentary on the show than anything else. Anyways, moving on.
No, this is very true.
Yeah. So, all right. How old is she again? She's like 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Such a bad idea. I still can't believe you did this.
I steal one of Ode's socks.
But you steal it off of my foot? How
You're
many
willing-
socks do you think I own?
I'm sure you own more than 2.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be looking for it tomorrow.
Okay, anyway. So we're there with Zeva, right?
Mhm.
Regardless of what she looks like.
No, I do think that was a good image to pick. Never mind. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yep. So I was hoping for a more like a young Natsuki, but that's fine. Anyway,
She
so
doesn't,
we
doesn't
like.
have pink hair.
No,
I mean, it's the future. She can have whatever color hair she wants, right?
Yeah, but
What if
she's
she
versus
identifies
Susan
as
Zandler.
a unicorn. She doesn't care.
so we just are like,
Yeah, so I think she's probably like nervously standing by the door,
right.
and like kind of like clasping her hands in front of her and just kind of like looking in like kind of unsure as to like what's even going on or like what she should be doing. As I assume you guys are like putting your stuff in there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Dylan walks over to one of the beds and just kind of pats it and is like, "You can come in. This will be your bed, I guess."
Run this
Okay.
by Till yet?
What?
We run this by Till yet?
Yeah, I think you did.
He was
Yeah,
the one that told me I had to leave my room. So yeah.
Right.
I think. I mean, at this point, you guys are paying me. She's
Does that mean Evelyn and I have to up our
not
rent on the
going to be
ship?
probably not going to damage the ship.
Right. She's young and harmless and very innocent. As long as she doesn't have a psychic power.
Or 7.
We should be fine. Or something.
I mean, let's be honest and understand right now that she's obviously unmedicated psychic and she's just going to teleport our ship into a star and we're all going to die. But
Very true.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
worry.
why I have pilot.
That's what I was just about to say. Don't worry, Josh. Just took
I don't think we get to make a navigation check when we're being teleported into a star, but
Yeah.
that's okay. We'll just pretend. You can tell yourself that at night if it makes you sleep better.
It does. I sleep great. And I might sleep forever one of those nights.
Caleb,
Yep.
Yeah.
we need to make her a meta scion.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That's the only one we don't have yet in any of the campaigns.
Also, the only kind you wouldn't be able to tell you were really. I mean, I guess you'd have to be able to tell what you were, or you would die. But whatever.
Yeah, she's not a Duralaminat or whatever.
Yeah. Well, because I was thinking like you wouldn't use the power, but you have to because otherwise you would probably just
Yeah,
explode every
exactly.
psychic in 1,000 miles.
Yep.
But yeah. I just realized that in none of the Stars Not Numbers campaigns that I've listened to has anyone ever had a psychic go off their MES and kill like a million people, and I'm disappointed by that. So we can do that sometime.
All right.
The stake has been put in the ground. Apparently, David wants someone to go insane because of psychic powers.
I mean, it's such
You
a
got it, buddy. Don't worry.
It's a
I
cool
got this.
setting.
Fair.
Like,
Fair. It would give Ode a nice little crisis of faith.
I mean, it's also true.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Also, can I just point out that I now live in your room and I have a psychic power that lets me see the past where I'm at, and so I'm just gonna get random psychic flashbacks of all of your secrets.
Yeah.
What?
Anyways,
that's awesome. Anyway, gonna cut out your eyes. Anyway,
I mean, it's a psychic power.
Okay.
I mean, you
So-
better have a TL5 butter knife because anything under that won't be able to hurt him.
Accurate, very accurate. I also can't be assassin. So.
TL5 butter knife.
okay, this is totally irrelevant though. So,
Sorry, yeah, we've made no progress.
yeah, we have absolutely no progress. So Zeva is. What does Zeva do here? So Dylan is like, Zeva, this is your bed.
Yeah, so she says, she's like clasping her hands in front of her nervously, and she says, "Oh, okay. I mean, so I don't really have a lot of stuff.
So, did we not even like let her bury her parents? Like, what's happening right now? Yeah, I'm. So
I mean, so you have.
Alright,
I mean,
so-
I don't think any of you have even asked or like gotten to know her more about like what even.
You didn't even ask her if she wanted to do this. We were just like, "Guess what? Kidnapping.
Yeah, we
Goodbye."
did.
No, Evelyn
I
asked.
Evelyn asked her, and she said yes. I was surprised that she said yes, but she did.
I mean, you asked a 12-year-old about the thing that she wanted to do for the rest of her life, and maybe she would die from because she has such good decision-making skill at 12 years. Anyways,
What do you want from me?
I want you to leave her on the planet. All right.
Oh, see, O just wants his room back. That's what's happening.
I didn't even know I was gonna lose my room when I said that the first time. Okay. I don't care about my
You
room.
just had that sneaking suspicion.
It's just gonna go back.
I mean, I'm sure like the people in Evangelia like started trying to like clean up the massacre
Yeah,
that
of
happened
course.
and probably already buried most of the people.
So I think
Can we just say that we did that then, and she was there?
yeah, no, we
No,
can
I
we
mean,
can just skip over all that. Yeah.
Would we have wanted her to even see her be buried though?
So this is the thing. I think what you
Well,
guys
it's
know.
about closure.
Yeah, what you guys know
Yeah.
is that so she is actually a adopted by them. So they weren't her
Aw.
biological parents. Her actual parents were killed several years
great.
ago.
Aw.
Like
That's the second time
in a
this-
raid kind of like this one. Right, like
Why she's
in
taking it so well.
right, exactly, because she's already been through this
Mm.
process before.
Yeah.
And so
she's not
Does that
taking
really
it
make
well.
it easier? I don't.
She's not taking it
I mean, she's
well.
not taking it
She's
well,
burying
but
it inside and
yeah,
not
she's
telling
not-
much.
yeah, she's not like
Okay, I like that answer.
Right, that's what I meant by well. Yeah, it's,
If she's got any sort of latent psychic powers, this is going to be
Oh,
one
we're all dead. I mean, we're all dead anyways. but,
enjoyable starship ride.
uh,
Because man,
I mean, I definitely wasn't thinking that she's gonna have psychic powers, but I mean,
intense childhood trauma times
Probably
2
doesn't.
plus psychic powers.
the only thing is that everybody else in this campaign except Till has psychic powers.
Yeah, I
so
know.
Maybe we should.
I know. I was just kidding.
Yeah, I figured you were, but. All right. Anyways.
Wait,
You can't
sorry,
suggest things
what
like
is
that to me and just
Yeah.
What's Dylan's psychic power?
It has not been revealed yet.
Hasn't been
but we
revealed
all
yet.
know She has psychic power.
Oh,
I still don't know.
it was that weird
Yeah, you can
engine
work.
thing that they
right.
found. Yeah.
I was told, but I didn't hear the audio. Like it didn't come through clearly, so I
Oh.
don't know what it is.
I mean,
Which I kind of prefer it to be that
Yeah,
way. So
That's even better. Okay, cool.
So I really do feel like a muggle.
Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
mean, it's
But
never
it's
too
okay
late to
because
cross
nobody else can
class.
fly the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, I can now, but not well.
Judge is like,
So
what
you
the
don't
heck?
even need me anymore. Hey,
Just
you
drop
know
you
what?
off at the
I'm
next
afraid of dogs.
next
Alright.
station.
All right, here's what we're gonna do then. Our next stop is going to be Midas, and I'm just gonna.
It actually is
bid
going to
y'all
be
farewell,
minus.
And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna buy myself a space truck.
And then you're just going to play
Oh my
Zeva?
God.
Is that
And
what
go
you're
back
saying?
to hauling loads of grain while listening to opera.
And then you're going to play Zeva?
stop having the risk of dying because Ode likes to shoot things.
Because bandits don't like trucks or anything. It's fine.
Right?
Anyways,
Like space trains full of grain. Yeah, no, that's a great thing for bandits to try to steal and transport.
I mean,
It depends
sounds
on
like
what kind
a
of
thing you
bandit
would
you
hire
are.
mercenaries to protect. I don't know.
All
But
right, we need to
anyways,
focus.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I had a real question and I don't remember what it is. So never mind.
Wow.
So she buried her parents.
Okay.
We took
Yeah,
her to,
that's
like,
already
funeral.
happened. Yep.
All right.
So
Welcome aboard. How does she react?
yeah, I mean she's pretty quiet. And she says, right, like, so I don't really have much in the way of possessions. The monster kind of tore up the house, so are there any clothes that I can borrow?
I mean, she can buy her
old is she?
clothes. Holy crap! Like,
Yeah. I have a whole bunch of credits. So.
yeah, like let's at
Yeah,
least
so
do that if we're gonna put our life at risk.
I'm just like, we will buy you clothes the next time we can.
If you're going to die in an
Okay.
accident,
Or no,
you're
I mean,
going to
we
die
can
in
do
the
it.
accident looking fabulous.
Gosh.
I mean, the
Yeah,
thing with
Dil-
buying it
Dylan
here is
just
that
kind
it's
of
not going to be very
suggests-
good clothing.
Yeah. Dylan just kind of suggests the next planet we stop on we'll pick you up some things, but until then you can borrow whatever from my stuff that might fit you better than like I don't know, anything else cuz
How tall
Dylan's-
are Evelyn and Dylan?
Dylan's like she's decently tall cuz her dad's huge, but but like she's not like a huge person, so
5'5", 5'6".
she's probably like 5'6" or 5'7".
Oh, I was talking about myself.
Oh.
Really? I always pictured you as tall. It's weird. All right,
Evelyn or Dylan?
Evelyn. Yeah.
I mean, I can always just
Yeah.
psychically tailor your clothes, so I can do that now.
Or you can psychically tailor their body for the clothes.
Boom.
Yeah, Zeva's about 5 foot.
Oof.
It's fine. Just make her psychically 6 feet. It's okay.
I mean, Dylan has a bunch of t-shirts that she can wear until we get to the
Yeah.
next planet.
Oh man, she's wearing like the big t-shirts.
Yeah.
She just has a short dress, but it's actually just your shirt. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cute.
Okay, I remembered my real question. The planet that I sent that communique to for the psychic.
That was
like,
Midas, which is
thing.
right next door.
Okay.
Yep,
That
that
was
is
my
the next
question.
planet you guys are going
We
to.
should
for sure.
actually go to Midas
Yep.
next. Yeah.
What's on Midas?
Gold.
Somebody I need to talk to. Yeah.
Is Midas the planet that that all the gaming stuff was?
No, that's
Oh, okay.
SWA.
Oh, right.
Different
Okay.
system.
What TL is it?
TL4. Midas is Till's home planet and Carly's or Dylan's mom's home planet.
Till 2, till 3, till 4.
Wow.
Oh
Surprised
my
we haven't
gosh.
made that joke
Wow.
yet.
Yep.
So
good.
to
Moving
keep
on.
this moving,
We're just waffling today. It's bad.
yeah. Yeah. So we see Zeva kind of get situated, and she kind of like just like props herself up on the bed, right? She's just kind of like sitting there and like looking around. She says, "I've never been inside a spaceship before." And then
I don't know what to say.
she awkwardly looks at you guys because she feels like she said something wrong now because you guys aren't saying anything.
That's okay. Or no, she doesn't say that. She probably says, "You'll learn." as if that's like that's the thing that would comfort her.
Yeah,
You'll learn.
this sounds
Probably
about
will die.
right
It's
for
okay.
Evelyn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Almost sounds human.
almost, but not quite. Yeah. So Zeva just kind of gets situated. And what's the plan for anyone's remaining goals on Zanless?
Is the gate still broken? I'm
Yeah,
assuming
they're
it's-
working on it. They're trying to like figure it out, but they haven't.
Okay, because Dylan wants to go back in, and She wants to see the game store that she worked at again.
Okay.
Wait, wasn't that a different?
Nope, this is the same.
No, this is the
Oh,
same dome.
right. Yeah, you grew up in a different dome. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So Evelyn and Till, real quick though, what is your idea of like what you're gonna do about the possible drone invasion that may be
Right.
impending?
Till
I mean-
is frantically gripping the syslog to try to figure out what's going on.
Right. Okay. Is
I
Evelyn
mean-
in the cockpit with Till, and they're figuring this out right
yeah,
now?
probably.
Okay.
I probably just left. What's her name to just chill.
Mm-hmm.
Zeva. I probably was just like,
Forgot her name.
okay, Zeva, we're gonna go figure out who hacked the drones, and I just leave. And I probably like just because there has been some sort of character development, I don't want to kind of undo that just to say that there was a moment and then character development is
Yeah.
like reverted. But there was a moment and she's still not fully there yet.
Mhm.
That was still
Yeah.
just a moment. But
So-
so she just kind of like stops before leaving and like hands her like a phone and it's like, there's some really fun games on here. I want to play them.
Like Candy Crush.
So cute. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so I think what definitely happens is Zeva very quickly like she's just enamored with this thing.
She's not
right?
gonna know
Like,
how to use it. Yeah.
How does she know how to turn it on?
She
Like,
doesn't. She absolutely
Does she?
doesn't. She's like, and I think what happens, right, is she's like, whoa, like I have never had something this cool before. Like this is like, it's basically like if you lived in like the 60s and someone like gave you a supercomputer, right? Like, and you're just like, wait, what? Like, what's
Dylan
going
goes
on?
and sits down next to her and helps her kind of figure it out.
What do you say, Josh?
Supercomputers are significantly less useful. to
Right,
the
but it's like
average
that was
person.
the only. It's like this is like no regular person should have this.
So a computer in the 1960s.
So, quick
Any-
question.
Yeah. Any computer, right? That's what I meant. Yeah.
Dylan doesn't know about the drones, so when you said we should go do something about the drones, was that not like a thing? Just out of curiosity.
No, Dylan's not even here at the moment. She left to go get a.
No, I haven't left yet.
Oh, you
I was
haven't
gonna
left.
say I didn't think she'd left.
Well, so
Just
what I was gonna
whatever
say
you
is
do.
Zeva probably like
And Zeva doesn't know either. Oh well, no, she does because she's like the one that tipped you off to
Yeah.
it. But
well,
I
she
don't
doesn't
think
know
she
what's
knew
going
what was
on.
actually going on,
No.
though.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
yeah.
to be fair, I don't know that she would even realize that meant anything. Like,
yeah.
so.
But so
what
she's
Dylan
like
probably
enamored with
did,
this thing
but-
at first, right? This phone that Evelyn gives her, but then she very quickly is like realizes she has no idea how to work it. And she asks you, Dylan. She's like, "Can you show me how to use this?"
Yeah, Dylan goes over and sits next to her on the bed and kind of walks her through it and it's like, you touch this to make it do this. And
Yeah.
Just
how-
don't introduce her to Fortnite Mobile or she'll be
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So how are you going about this, Dylan?
I mean, she's probably had a similar experience because she had to go from Zanless tech level when she was 15
Right.
to this kind of tech level. So, she just walks her through it in the simplest way that she remembers that like someone showed her how to do it or she started figuring out everything.
Mm-hmm. What do you like show her how to like? What do you point her to in terms of like what she can do with it? Like, do you show her the games? Do you show her like how to read a book? Do you show her how to like?
She probably
contact
like
people?
opens up the like camera on it and is like, look, you can take a picture of yourself.
Okay, so that's
Oh,
the
no.
kind of emphasis. Okay, so go ahead and roll
Oh,
a.
gosh.
I think this would be work because I don't think there's an actual skill for like teaching someone something.
If you succeed too much at this, she'll go around selfie bombing everybody.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll a work, plus intelligence, and we'll see how good you are at teaching her how to. And I think I'll give you a +1 because of the situation, right? Like you did actually have to learn
Yeah.
all this yourself from TL2 technology. Cool. So
6.
yeah.
Also 7 because I don't think you added in the +1.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Okay, so yes, it's a 7. Still not the best. So I think it's kind of confusing to her. I think maybe you even realized yourself, Dylan, that you're like, man, I've forgotten what it's like to not know. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like a almost like a sad thing to you. You're like, oh wow, like, huh, like I feel like I've changed, and like this does seem primitive to me now. Like when people don't know how to use the technology, and so I think you're like trying to show her how it is, and she's getting like frustrated, and she doesn't know how to do it. But I think the only thing that you teach her how to do, like the only thing she actually like understands, is how to take pictures. And so that's the only thing she knows how to do on this thing. And so that's the only thing she's gonna use it for a while.
Great.
It's just
good
taking
job.
pictures.
It's gonna document our space travels.
Yeah,
With
she's gonna
Bunch of
open a
selfie
space
sessions.
Instagram account.
a
And,
bunch of selfie sessions.
Oh my
between-
gosh.
well, I mean, most of them are just gonna be like blurry photos of like
Yeah.
something from too far away or too close.
She's gonna take a video of her face when she meant to take a video of something in front of her.
Yeah. To be like, wow, look at this. They're fighting this robot. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Oh. Anyway.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go over to
Till
the
and
cockpit then with Till.
You
And
find Fergus scraping blood off the ground from where Till fell.
Pretty sure we cleaned that up already.
Oh. There's just like just a little bit on like the edge. No,
yeah,
No.
none.
I mean, Fergus, we can just say that you took that before.
Okay.
It's
I mean,
Excuse
otherwise you're just gonna look
me.
for something else. It's not like it'll be hard.
Okay.
fine. Yeah, maybe you
grabbed
just go to the
something else.
console and you just find like a speck of like dandruff or
Skin
something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
An
like,
eyelash.
with the tweezers. Yeah, you just put it in a little plastic bag.
Are you one of those
What
monsters?
are you doing at the console with a magnifying glass and tweezers?
Trying to tidy up your work area, sir.
You're trying to do that with tweezers.
Yeah, a clean workstation's a happy workstation.
Fergus,
Happy workstation, happy life. It's okay.
Fergus,
Yeah.
there's a dusting wand in the cabinet. It just
Oh.
atomizes the dust.
Wow, that sounds safe.
So you don't have to use tweezers.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just good to get in there and do it yourself.
always rely
I
on
need to use the
technology,
console
man.
right now, Fergus.
Oh, okay. And then he like puts his arms behind his back and he just walks out.
Does he whistle on the way out?
Now he does.
Go.
And
Evelyn.
then there was one.
Till.
What's he up to? Do you know?
He was picking up eyelashes with tweezers.
Why was he picking up eyelashes with tweezers?
I'm not the person to ask. Sorry, Till.
That's
Or-
fair.
He,
I
he
just
probably says, "Sorry, Captain. I'm not good with understanding people. Not my forte."
fair enough.
Not my space forte.
Shut up, Gib.
Great, nice.
But everything's bigger in space, so it'd be space fortissimo.
Wait, so space is Texas?
Everything's bigger in space.
Everything's bigger in space.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
What is up with us in tangents today?
I mean,
This isn't the
I was
Christian artist.
We're having too much fun, I think.
I'm a bit tired.
Yeah, that's fair. Me too.
Caleb
Alright.
admits to being tired.
anyways.
Okay,
And
so
tired both start with T.
not up, Paul. Okay, what have you discovered about the drones? Anything?
Still working on that.
Yeah, so want to make a program roll to figure out?
Aw.
Do that.
What?
Okay, I mean, it's very obvious that something tried to, like, take back the drones. It looks like it was I think we went over this last time, but I think it does look like the original system was trying to like reintegrate like whatever original programming it had, try to get it back into the get it to do what it was supposed to do in the first place, rather than going off on doing whatever Evelyn wants it to do. And it's very obvious through the syslog things that you find that it does originate from the center of the dome. This is something I think that Evelyn found out last time too. I think we did make some program rolls last time to figure out some things. It originates from the center of the dome. And I think the new piece of information that you find that you didn't know before is I think you can see. So from your understanding, this is not just the system rebooting itself. This is like something actively happened to make it, like you obviously went into the system and changed some things, and so this like someone, so it's less like you moved the mouse and the monitor turned on, and more like you were messing with someone's stuff and they noticed it and then went to the console and started like being like, wait a second, and then it's some intelligence was actively opposing what you guys were doing. It wasn't just like the system doing it itself.
Now, would you classify this intelligence as virtual or artificial?
It could be it's probably not virtual. It's either like an artificial intelligence or it's a person.
A person, right? Yeah, I was just kidding.
It's not just the computer.
Yep.
So there's someone or something in the center of the dome that is actively doing things now when it wasn't before.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Well, should we do something about that, or
I think we should gear up for a journey to the center of the dome.
I think we
Right.
should go to Midas.
Wait, what are we doing on Midas? What's the plan for that?
Planet.
Somebody has an internet girlfriend on Midas.
Yeah, internet girlfriend. Yep, that's what's happening.
What
Um,
on?
Not only
He's been writing letters to somebody in Midas,
yeah.
being all sneaky about him. Probably a girlfriend.
And there's
This
also
is
like
character.
you guys have a bunch of credits that you can spend on things, so that might be a good
Right.
place to go.
Decent place to go shopping too.
Yep.
But you know where's a better place to go shopping?
Where?
Anywhere
TL5,
that's safe.
why not?
You know
Where
what's
that's
not
safe.
safe? Whatever's in the middle of that dome. So let's go find it.
What?
Okay,
What?
I'm going to experiment with what I can do with no rolls. So,
Go to bed. I don't know.
Tempted.
I'm very confused.
So, okay, are we gonna have a conversation in character about what's going on? Because half of us still don't know what's happening, and
Yeah.
like,
oh
yeah.
yeah, we probably shouldn't go without you guys.
Oh, I mean, if you do, I might just fly the ship to Midas. So,
Unless you just want to like purposely not inform Dylan so that I can go accomplish one of my other goals.
Not like, but then we're gonna be doing something that you're not a part of, and then that's gonna be the whole session. Possibly, at
That's
least.
true.
Yeah, so is this the time when you guys have a ship meeting?
I mean, yeah, I feel like
The first annual meeting of the crew of the Void's Grace?
The first annual. What?
it's a reference to a different Stars Number game
Okay, gotcha.
where they have an annual meeting like every week.
Oh.
Welcome to the second
Gotcha.
annual.
That's great.
Yeah.
Phil just hands Evelyn a digital bosun's whistle. All right, drum up the crew. Or pipe up the crew.
So when you say you hand her a digital,
Yeah, I don't understand.
what are you actually handing her?
Bosun's whistle.
I mean, don't we have a comms? Can't you just be like, yo,
Yeah, but like
peeps?
Where do you
Bosun's
get a
whistles.
bosun's whistle in?
the ship's locker.
Just
Don't we have a
comms
ship's
is like
locker with all of the things?
Well, since that's not on the list of equipment, I think
It's
probably not.
I was
I
gonna
don't
say,
know. He's got a good point.
thinking Mary Poppins, or not Mary Poppins. I was thinking like Sound of Music style, right? Just play the sound, and then everybody shows up when their note is played. It stands in a perfect
Anyways,
straight line.
so yeah, all right. So
So ship
Fair.
meeting.
calling us to the cockpit then, or what?
Galley.
Where are we called? We have a galley. The kitchen. You mean?
Where's that?
Kitchen, galley.
Why would we meet in the kitchen? I guess we don't have a
I
better
mean,
place.
otherwise,
snacks.
where else do we meet?
Yeah,
Nice
no,
snack.
yeah, I realize we don't have a better place except like the cargo hold. So,
You
We could meet in the cargo hold.
Yeah.
but there's no food. in
Kitchen's
the
really
cargo
small.
hold, so- yeah, well, there is that. Yeah.
So is Zeva? Does
Unless you want to sit
Zeva-
on counters.
Does anyone like tell Zeva to come or to stay? Like, does anyone say anything to her about this?
Dylan probably says, you can come with if you want. We'll probably be right back.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have anything else to do, so she just comes over. She just like stands in the door awkwardly the whole time.
I think if Till sees her standing awkwardly at the door, he'd invite her in to
Okay.
join the group.
And then she stands awkwardly in the corner.
Okay, I want to make a no roll about. Do I have to do something specific, or can I just say about like the drones and like the dome thing?
I mean, if it's a no roll, you don't have to make a roll at all, right?
Connor, do you have good
those
notice?
jokes will never get old.
Yes, +1.
You need to roll a notice as well.
Oh, okay.
Wait, for what? What are you doing?
If he succeeds, I'll explain.
I got a 10.
Okay.
You got a 10 for notice or no?
Yeah, notice.
The notice.
Fergus is half a foot taller.
What?
Why did you have to roll a notice to look for half a foot?
Because I'm sitting down.
You didn't walk into the room. Also, did I know this? I'm in the room with you. Where did you do this?
The secret.
He went into the bathroom.
Oh, so weird.
You're still in the cockpit, by the way.
Wait, how do you get
Oh.
half a foot taller? I'm assuming from the new
Yeah.
focus that you just got from last
Yeah.
session? Yeah, okay.
I mean, I look at you weirdly, and I'm like, dude, what?
Fergus, you're taller.
The magic of puberty. I guess I should go to the galley. There we go.
Fergus, why are you taller?
The magic of
Puberty?
Argus? Puberty doesn't work that way.
Well, I think someone needs to have a talk with me then.
Okay, I'm assuming that Evelyn said something very, very like inappropriate that he doesn't think is inappropriate. She just kind of described something about puberty very nonchalant. Not going to do so. I have a couple of ideas, but I can't think of anything more appropriate that would add to the situation. So that's all I'm going to say.
Wait, what did you say?
Nothing. Exactly. That's the point.
Evelyn makes an appropriate comment that she doesn't.
Evelyn tells him about the birds and the bees.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So, Ode's probably like,
What's Fergus's response?
is that a biosonics thing?
What?
Well, she pretty
Oh,
much is like, puberty does this and this. I don't think it makes you 6 inches taller in 2 hours. That's what.
Yeah, and then Ode suggests it might be a biosonic, or asks if it's a biosonics thing in kind of response to that.
Nah, puberty's natural.
Till you're a monster. I shoot you in the face.
Hey, if that's traumatic, does that mean I get a chance at a psychic power?
Anyways, still making no progress. So what does Fergus say?
Yeah, psychic magic and puberty, stuff.
Right. Anyways, why are we here?
In the dome, we drummed up a small army of drones from the old defense systems to come to our aid, and someone or something rebooted the security system while we were using them. Close as we can tell, it's not a something but a someone, and they're in the center of the dome. We don't know who they are, except that they're trying to gain access to the security systems. And I think the last thing we want is somebody with access to murder drones.
I mean, those drones are like hundreds of years old. Maybe they were just having going
No.
on Fritz.
Nope. We looked. We checked. It's definitely. It was part of it. They were just reverting to their previous programming and doing what normal drones do when they revert to their programming.
Kill everything?
Follow their programming. And killing everything happened to be what they were programmed to do, yes.
Mm.
And it's not possible they had a software update in 600 years to process or something.
No, that's exactly what they do. They reboot and then they connect to the
So
master
you
server
guys
for a
turned them
software
off.
update. So that's what we did is we man-in-the-middle attacked the software update in order to get our own custom firmware on there to route the AI off of Evelyn's
Like, I don't know.
game.
My point
and
is,
then-
you started them. They updated. Why is it weird that weird things happen?
They rebooted and updated again. The weird thing is that they
That
rebooted
sucks.
it all.
But you
And
booted-
somebody or something, probably someone, rebooted them remotely from inside the dome.
Okay,
And it wasn't me
so
and it wasn't Evelyn.
someone else knows how
Fer-
to
and
know
I
if it works.
was watching Fergus the whole time, so we don't know if there's any. There shouldn't be anybody else on this planet that knows even how to do this. The point is,
So
we should probably, for the sake of the people here, find out
Tell them that someone's in there and then leave.
who's messing with the security systems and prevent them from hurting people.
So if I was to roll to know anything about like the old tech that we didn't really mess with
Mm.
because like my dad was kind of the leader of everything, like would that be a no roll?
Oh, what? Yeah, Connor, what were you
I
rolling
just-
for?
Well, I was just gonna make up a bunch of stuff about what we're about to do.
Sure, do it.
I'm rolling to know stuff about drones and about the like the dome's like security systems and stuff like that, and about artificial intelligence.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so
That sounds like
I-
3 rolls.
and obviously you can say that this doesn't happen or whatever, but I would like to make up that all of these domes actually had a self-aware and like actually intelligent, capable AI
Mhm.
that was in charge of. And when I say actually capable, like I mean like how do I explain this?
An AI with agency.
Yes, that's what, yes, that's exactly what I mean to say. An
pulling
AI
AI
with
into this
agency
now.
that was in charge of the domes,
Mhm.
and they were charged with the security of all of the domes and stuff like that. And all of the domes were interconnected, and they communicated with one another
Mhm.
as like people. And what happened was they
Wait, so you're saying
started-
there's a separate AI for each dome, or there's one
separate
kind
AI
of-
for each dome, and they all communicate with one another.
Okay.
And they were all in charge of like protecting their dome and their people and stuff like that. And they all had like a god complex they started having, where they felt like they started to be worshipped by the people that they were protecting in the dome. And when they started like trying to take control and like asking for worship, the people fought against them. And that's how you have the domes as they are today, is they were all
How?
disabled. And what happened here is one of the AIs, instead of being destroyed, made himself dormant. And
I-
he's been awoken again.
How would everyone
He's starting to
possibly
take
know
control of
that?
stuff.
Right, that's what I'm like. I am really, really into that, but I'm
Okay, I got a 15.
curious as to how
that
Evelyn
is-
could possibly know that.
Look, you're psychic. You're not that kind of psychic.
She found
No,
a pamphlet.
It's not psychic so much as it is reading log files and seeing what kind of programming files are on there.
Oh, okay. So maybe we just
I mean-
flash
I did my
back to like
research.
Evelyn poring over like the system files and like.
Well,
Yeah.
so point of order. We established that AI weren't a thing. So if they are a thing, would she recognize the coding
Oh,
for an AI?
We said the AI were in the thing.
I mean, originally when we were like, what we want to do, we were like, not AI, which is fine. I don't
Oh.
care. But my point is that I assume that means
Okay.
AI isn't common in the universe. I mean, I don't.
That's
do
up to
AI,
you
I don't
guys.
care.
Okay,
But
all right.
my point is
I
that
didn't remember
it's
that
like-
at all. My bad.
It sounds like they would be.
Well, so
uncommon enough.
it has already come up. AI have already
Okay.
come up as a possible thing.
Okay.
Let me remember exactly where it was on. It was on Bratislav. It was Fergus was doing research as to what they were doing in the laboratory that you guys were going to go to sell them the engine. And the thing they were researching was panopticon matrix, which is like pretty much exactly the same sort of thing that Evelyn was just describing, which was like an interconnected set of AIs that could protect like the planet.
Fergus already did his research on this.
This was
Yeah, Fergus knows. He didn't share this with anyone, but Fergus knows that that's what they were researching on Bratislav.
Oh,
Was a network of interconnected AIs, exactly as you've just described.
which
So,
planet was Bratislav?
the moon, the communist moon.
the one where we had the engine that we like the power
The
source
Hephaestus.
lost.
Hephaestus
that thing,
engine,
yeah,
yeah.
Hephaestus engine. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
I remember the word Hephaestus engine, but that did not ring a bell.
Remember when we got grounded and we gave power
Yeah.
source to a terrorist cell, and then tried to screw us for doing that.
And see, guys, this is the thing. That was back when Connor just played video games the whole time. When
Hey now.
That's right. Forgot about that.
It was the thing the Imperium wanted that we weren't sure if we were going to give it to him because
Okay.
White Sun was like,
Okay.
what?
See, that's what I thought we were talking about. But,
Yeah.
All right.
but
Hey,
yeah, Fergus
I would not
did.
lie to save face.
I
Young
know
you
you would.
people.
Fergus did did some digging around as to what the research facility on the planet was on the moon was up to. You guys never ended up going there or doing anything with them, but Fergus wanted to like
Okay.
figure it out, and he never told anyone. I don't think so. But yeah, Evelyn, I'm totally
Thanks, Jared.
Can
I'm sorry.
I make a note check then?
to know what.
To know then now that she's mentioned, if Evelyn mentions.
Well, yeah,
this
how does
AI thing,
Evelyn like say this to everybody?
Who not well probably.
incredibly technically?
Didn't we establish she basically
I mean-
doesn't say anything to us at all?
Yeah. Darn.
Do you just not tell anyone about
So
this?
maybe she knows all of this and doesn't say anything. Crap.
Okay, so can I roll to know any of this since I lived on this planet for most of my life?
Yeah, you can try to figure out something. Yeah, go ahead and roll a no plus intelligence.
Can I got a modifier since I've lived here my entire life?
Yeah, plus one. Yeah.
Ancient dome
Honestly,
god.
though, that feels like that should be a negative modifier because the TL of the
What?
people who live here.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
okay. So
she
what
probably-
what do you want to know specifically, Dylan?
I want to know like
What level?
anything of what Evelyn just said, like any little bit of it that might help us.
Honestly, she would probably know it from the viewpoint of the ancient dome god that like their ancestors worshipped.
Right. Okay. Just roll it
Yeah.
flat, no bonus or minus, and we'll just see what
Oh,
plus
okay.
intelligence, and we'll see how much maybe Dylan has done about it. Because that is a thing, right? Like we haven't dug into what the natives believe or anything about.
Yeah, like she could
why
have
this
read
happened.
about it in a history textbook growing up.
Yeah.
Worshipped the dome gods. I
Yeah.
love it.
Well, now that you
Oh, wait,
Oh.
I did something
You
wrong.
did a thing again.
added,
Did you do a plus
Well,
zero?
Yeah, you did a
Okay,
plus
alright.
0. Yeah.
yeah, when you roll, you can't
Just roll
make a
0.
modifier,
Just
so
put
it
0.
scares everything. So you got an 8 then.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she got an 8. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think the part of it that you know, the part that like the domers actually believe and like have been taught is right, like a long time ago there was like obviously people lived fine on this planet. It's always been like toxic, it's always been like a wasteland, but the domes were here to protect people, like to make it habitable, right? So they built these domes and they could live on this planet without, even though it was like horrible. And they were in the process of like trying to terraform the planet to become like better, so they could not live in the domes and instead just take over the whole planet. But something went terribly, terribly wrong, and I think you don't know as much about. So you obviously don't know about like the AI stuff, like the details of that. But I think you have a basic understanding of, like, I think from your perspective and the way you've been taught it, it was like the leaders of the domes, right? Like the king, like the not the kings, but like the whoever was in charge of the domes, like they were like dictators, and like there ended up being like an overthrow. Like the people tried to overthrow these dictators, right? Of the domes and like declare their independence because they were being like super controlling, and the tyrants like had access to the big red button that shoots off all the nukes, right? And they just decided to like destroy the terraforming work and just like doom the planet forever, like as a last act of like petulance on their part, right? As they're like they were beating the peasants were like beating down the doors to like overthrow their tyrants, right? And then they like basically they used the terraforming equipment that was already set up across the planet to, instead of making it better, make it much worse in a very quick amount of time. So they pumped toxins into the atmosphere and just made it all really bad. And then obviously like started shutting down the domes to try to well, maybe you don't know anything about how the domes. I think it was basically along the lines of the people who overthrew the tyrants, right, didn't know how to work the domes, and so they couldn't like they'd had to like learn how to do it, and by the time they did, like the domes were starting to break down, and they couldn't understand the technology because the people who had built it had died, and they had like destroyed any information on like how to run them, and so they just hoped that the dome wouldn't fall apart, and then like tried to eke out a meager existence living in the domes. That's the story that you've always heard.
Cool. Yeah, so she debriefs the crew on Xanless world history. She's just kind of like, that's what I know.
Oh, well, actually, there's a god AI.
Of course, that's the way you say it.
Oh, great. That's lovely.
Oh, you didn't tell us about that?
Well, I've been researching it recently.
Oh.
They asked me for a report.
Oh, yeah, it kind of sounds like that thing they were researching on the planet you said earlier.
Bratislav.
On Bratislav, yeah, they're making a god AI, yeah.
And so what it was, Fergus, was
Bratislav?
no, it was
This is
an
why we ask people
interconnected
for
like
reports.
a bunch of AIs that are interconnected in like a matrix that will protect like a planet, like that have like it's like a system
so, like
of
AI hive mind.
yeah, yes, exactly, that's what it is. Yep.
This is why we ask people for reports.
Oh, I didn't tell you guys? Oh.
Okay, that kind of behavior I expect out of Evelyn, but not you, Fergus.
Yeah.
Well, Jill, as the superior officer, you're supposed to ask us for reports. I thought that's what these missions were about. I was wondering why we never got to it.
Ending ops. This isn't a military. What?
Do you say that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, is that only a military thing?
Yeah, that's a military thing.
Yeah. A little bit.
Oh man, that's such a telling
so-
remark from Evelyn. Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder if you guys missed that or not. Like,
Oh,
oh,
I'm sure. Yeah. At least I'm sure Ode does. Was your
I should
character in the
probably
military?
roll something.
yeah. Tell Ferguson. I mean, all of you, if you want. Like, you roll a notice. I'm curious if you pick up on the significance of that
Is that an-
statement.
Is that an empathy notice as well?
Seems
Yeah, we
wisdom.
would like probably with wisdom.
Are you what? No.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Same.
What?
Why are we all so bad at
What?
this?
Don't worry, guys. I get it.
Oh, 5-2.
Please, Fergus, get a 5. Please do it.
Boom!
What?
Oh, nice.
Why?
Yeah.
How?
I'm good at notice, man.
Okay, so nobody else notices
Got a
this, but
+1.
Fergus, you very obviously
+2.
We all rolled a 1. Nice randomization there. Roll 20.
Oh man.
you definitely notice, Fergus, the significance of that statement, right? Like, she's
What
obviously
statement?
so what the thing she said was, or Till said, right? Like, this, we're not a that's, you know, we're not a military. Like, you don't have to give reports or whatever. And Evelyn was like, oh, that's only a military thing.
Caleb, what the crap is that token in the background that only you can see? I'm on the Twitch stream.
Oh,
What the crap is that little token?
this one over
there?
here.
Yeah.
It's the Asian
That's a
girl.
Koto. Remember, that's Emily's character.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sun,
okay.
whatever it was, yeah.
All right, okay.
Koto still
I
doing
just,
here?
like,
I
went over
I
to
had
the
her off
train-
on the side.
She's still on our ship somewhere.
I
Oh
went over
man,
to
you
the
guys,
train
it's
and
ruined
stared at
now.
it, and I was like, "Yep."
My secret
That she
plan.
was the monster all along.
She
Yeah,
is the god
It would have been
AI.
funny if I had like had her in GM on the GM layer in like a part of the ship the whole time, like just waiting to jump
Gosh.
out.
That'd have been amazing.
What if the
And now
real
you're gonna
monsters were the friends? who
Inside,
came
inside,
along
Caleb
the
was
way?
like, "Dang it, my plan was ruined." And
No,
I had to pretend it was a
I
joke."
literally just completely forgot she was there.
Okay, anyways,
So what significance do I understand?
you realize that she has no context beyond military. Like, she assumed that commanding officers were like a normal thing because
So she obviously has some sort of military background. Like
Fergus is. Oh, it's a mystery. Oh my gosh, Fergus's interest has been piqued.
This could make a very interesting plotline, Jared.
mhm.
so
Ah.
despite the fact that we've established that no one on the ship tells each other anything, your plan is to go into a dome that is controlled by an AI that has all the drones that you hacked earlier and get shot. Am I getting that right?
Well, the drones are off for now.
Okay, so then why are we going in at all?
Because if we leave and they turn back on, then people will die.
So we can't just destroy them or something?
I mean, that's certainly an option, but that doesn't really eliminate the fact that that's not the only batch of drones in the building. That's not the only security countermeasures this thing has at its disposal. They were just the quickest ones I could get to. I only had 6 seconds, man.
I mean, they live in like, can't you just hack the stuff that is around where they live and turn it off or something? I mean, they live in like 5% of the dome.
I mean, do you know how computers work? Oh,
No, I don't. But if you had 15 drones in 6 seconds, I think you could probably figure it out.
yeah.
Because we have the Void's Grace here, acting as a very effective man-in-the-middle attack.
So use the Void's Grace, cripple them, and then we can leave.
And take away the cripple with us, sure. So the dome will come back online the minute it gets out of range. This is how computers work, Ode.
I mean, you can't permanently change
Well-
anything in a computer ever. I feel like that's not true.
I mean, in all reality, from what I've done in my research, all we need to do is reprogram the personality.
But according
Take
to
away its
Till, that's temporary, and as soon as we leave, it won't work. It'll stop working.
No, we just have to be in the mainframe to do it.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what you just said, but all right, cool.
No, that's not at all what you said. You said we didn't want to go back in the dome at all.
No, that's what you said. You said if you change the thing we left, it would go back, which is why I'm
No,
confused.
he said from the Void's Grace. He said that, as in like
Your suggestion was to only disable the part of the dome where the people live, which isn't tenable because in order to do that, we'd have to introduce a dampening field from the Void's Grace.
No, I meant ruin
To
the stuff. in it.
permanently fix it, or to permanently alleviate the not alleviate, what's the word? To permanently
can't help you. I don't know what word you're
stop,
looking for.
break,
Fix.
permanently remove the threat, we need to get to the mainframe itself.
All right, that's great. You guys do whatever you want. I'm just gonna, yeah, bye. I go back in my room.
We'd love a gun to shoot down drones if they come after us while we're walking in there.
I have finger guns.
Fair enough. See, I was just thinking that, Fergus has finger guns. Wait, Fergus has... When did you get finger guns?
Oh, that wasn't in the report I left.
What report? What have we been doing?
Established we're not doing those.
Yeah, that was when you got mad at me for tenting your cargo bay.
Oh yeah.
That what that was?
Maybe.
Oh yeah. No, I don't know if Till actually knew what happened there.
Did Tail ever find it?
I
Yeah.
telekinetically moved the giant stack of cargo boxes like 5 inches. to the
Till
right.
did find it. Till did find it, but I don't think he knew what it was from exactly.
Well, that's right, because I gave people a bit of a grilling about it too. That's right.
Fergus gave you some credits.
Yeah.
to fix it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did.
He offered to pay for the fake.
Yeah, that's why I have such a weird credit number now. I was always wondering.
That would explain why my number is never round either.
Mhm.
Yeah, mine is super bizarre too.
I mean, yours is super bizarre because you spent it all and then broke
Right.
the thing.
I mean, I spent it all and then was on it when it was broken. But
Either way, I was just thinking, Fergus has his finger guns, and we've seen you use yours, but
I mean,
maybe Fergus's finger guns being psychic and all would be more effective. So I don't know. Maybe it'd be good to count drones killed. Find out who we should take with us as the gun.
I mean, Ode left when he said that and closed the door to his room. Sorry, I must
I thought I was hoping Tilla could interrupt him quick before he gets the door closed.
I mean, you can say that as he's walking away if you want, but
Yeah, that was the intention.
okay. I mean, yeah, he doesn't stop.
Call him out, make it a game. He doesn't stop.
No, he's not in the mood for games.
Fair enough.
I'm just realizing that there are 4 beds in the other room, which means it's inevitable that you guys are gonna pick up one more NPC.
Oh my
Hopefully it's a girl.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll have to move everybody's stuff back.
Yeah.
But then,
And then
we're-
Evelyn and Dylan will have to share a bed.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I just feel like,
Dylan's character will just be married by then, and we'll add another room.
Yeah, let's just add on a whole room to the spaceship.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just sleep in the gunnery room. That's the best room.
That is Phil's bedroom. No, it is
David,
not.
wake up!
Till sleeps in the gunnery so that nobody can get to the guns.
He's so nervous about Ode that he sleeps there just so.
That was to start with, and now he's just there because it's more comfortable and because
So you're like that old guy, like the uncle that always like sleeps in the lounge chair in the
What is
living
Kinda,
room.
yeah.
Yeah. Except it's like the gun chair.
the
chair.
gunnery.
Does he actually sleep there?
Yeah.
A little space air
Oh,
mattress in the gunnery.
I thought you slept in the cockpit, so it's not much different. It's basically the same thing.
I was under the
because
impression that
gunnery
there was like a
wasn't
bed
labeled
that
when I
comes out
initially
from the
said-
wall that he could sleep on.
Oh,
But
I see.
Yeah, it's
Right,
down.
right.
It's in here.
It just comes off the wall right here.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why there would be, but why not?
It's generally intended for a co-pilot on long 2-person missions. You have your pilot and then your co-pilot, and they rotate out, but they're easy. They're within screaming distance of the cockpit if something were to go wrong.
Okay.
Uh,
Anyway, I mean, it's
yeah,
interesting to know more about our ship because it helps you get images in your head of like what's actually going on. But
And to be fair, we do have this little wedge shape in the middle of the ship.
yeah, I
We
figured.
could totally bolt another room into there.
yeah.
I have to assume this ship is.
sketchy.
I assume that this is kind of like the Falcon from Star Wars.
Mhm. You can
being
definitely do some
slightly
modifications.
modular.
Yeah.
Could slot in another module right
Yeah.
there with a bedroom and
For sure.
whatnot. And then if Ode if Dylan ever gets married, we can give her the gunnery. Her and her husband the gunnery, and Till can move into the master suite.
Like Dylan's the only one with the chance of being married.
I think.
I
I
mean,
think
I
Ode
am
does
the
too.
oldest at the moment.
I mean, Till's the oldest, but yeah, that's fair.
Oldest out of the kids.
As we've said, she's still the one with the most chance of getting married.
Now, question: what's the space age of consent? Because you're not old enough to get married unless space age of consent is different.
It's different planets. I don't think there's a.
I don't
So if
think
you
there's
get married in space, it doesn't matter. That's gross. And
It's basically Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
man.
worse.
I mean, okay, so I would just like to point out that technically the Japanese kind of ran the sector before this.
great.
Oh,
That's kind of a thing.
hey, Fergus can get married. Hey guys.
The exchange, the like trade,
What up, ladies?
the trade system, and like that has like a bunch of like refueling stations, and it's like a neutral like trade organization. They're Japanese.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh,
What up,
that's
ladies?
totally gonna be a thing now. Fergus is gonna come back and he's accidentally married.
Now, here's my
Accidentally
question.
married?
You probably arranged and he didn't know about it. So here's my question: if you get married to somebody who is underage in one sector and not the other, and you go to the other sector, is your marriage illegal now as soon as you come into their sector, or are they just like, oh, you got married in another sector?
Yeah, I mean, you would probably have to act as if you weren't married for the purposes of being on the
Oh
planet.
gosh! All right, space sucks. All right.
It's okay, Pharaoh. She's my sister.
Oh, gosh, gross.
No.
Moving on.
Ugh, what does this game come to?
Yeah, it was my fault. I'm sorry.
I, the one person watching right now, I'm so sorry.
Hey, we have 4 people watching right now.
I mean, how many of those are us though? 'Cause anyways, moving on. What's the plan?
We have at least
I'm-
one person watching.
I'm not there to listen, but we should probably.
Yeah.
This is very relevant. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
what's the plan?
So I think after laying it out,
what's this?
what does everybody think?
We should probably stop the space god AI. And I mean, if the whatchamacallit finds out, the Imperium finds out, they're probably going to come here and kill all your family for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Valid
guess
point.
that's probably right. Yeah.
Oof.
And if the Imperium comes and finds out that we were here,
Then we're
Oof, oof.
dead.
So that is the thing. They technically are coming after you.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Oh, no.
Caleb, I'm going to send you a message real quick.
Okay.
Why are the Imperium coming after us again? Is it just from the mission we did with Emily's character? Or
Yeah.
is it-
because
Yeah,
Akoto went and stole the thing.
Right.
Wait, they're coming after us because we didn't pay our parking ticket. It's kind of...
Yep. They're petty like that. Parking tickets are a big deal to the Imperium.
No,
Order and law
they're
and all
coming
that,
because
you know?
you lost their Hephaestus engine and they want to
I
find
mean,
out why.
That's not illegal. Being incompetent's not illegal.
Hey, that's
Hey,
what you think.
I would just like to remind everyone of what Bratislava was like. Everything is illegal.
But we're not in Bratislava anymore, so who cares? They don't. It's not their planet. It's not illegal to be incompetent in space. To be incompetent
In
with your
space, no one
other
can
wife
hear you be
space.
incompetent.
Exactly. Moving on. All right.
Yeah, so what's the plan?
I'm just gonna fly this ship to Midas. It's fine.
To put the parking brake on.
No.
I hate the parking brake.
Till has the key to the parking brake. In
Why would a spaceship have a key? That doesn't make any sense.
Because of people like you
Yeah,
who
people who
would
live on
fly
the
the
ship.
spaceship away if it didn't have a key.
I mean, I'm assuming it would use biometrics, and I'm assuming the people on the crew would be keyed into the biometrics.
Yes, and remember I revoked your root access. You only had access for the gun because
First
I turned it back
episode,
on that one
yeah.
session.
Caleb, that was my space ninja,
I
man.
know. Anyway, nothing to see here.
All right,
Just trying to see your conversation.
I would like to travel into the dome, figure out what's going on, and see if we can stop it. Because the last thing I want is a rogue god AI waking up and having my
So, should I brief you
What's-
all then?
hang on,
I have all this information. Can I just brief all of you guys?
Garrett, not Garrett. Sorry. Hang on. What's his name?
Give me a sec.
Who are you trying to find the name of?
Her father,
Oh, Gregor.
Gregor.
Gregor. Literally right there, Gregor. I don't want Gregor and company breathing down my neck for turning on an AI. So I'd like to go and
Yeah, I was
stop
gonna
that
say
before it
that
gets
was
out of
our
hand.
fault. It really was. So.
So, are you guys gonna go after it?
Does Dylan have a
Yes.
perspective on it?
What?
Does Dylan have a perspective on this?
Yeah, she probably just goes along with it. Though I would like to add that she's probably definitely not as mad at Till as her dad, but she's definitely mad at Till because he knew about her dad cheating on her mom and didn't tell her all this time. So she's just kind of like silently going along with everything, just
Mhm.
kind of keeping her emotions inside.
Yeah.
Till would like to see if he can detect some of that.
Sure.
9.
Okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
Chase, just like
Oh,
came home.
Till is trying to see if he can tell that Dylan is semi-mad at him for not telling her about all the stuff with Gregor.
Till is trying to figure out if Dylan is mad at her.
Yeah,
Like
she
that
is. He's trying to tell if he can notice that she
Okay.
is. And he got a 9.
It's up to you, Dylan. How much you hiding this?
I mean, he can probably tell that she's like, if possible, more reserved than normal, but she's not like, she doesn't look angry.
So this is a keg that'll blow some other time.
Maybe, I don't know.
Mhm.
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Alright.
Yeah, so is the consensus that you guys are gonna go on a mission into the bowels of the dome?
Yeah, did Evelyn have a briefing she wanted to give us about it or something?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna like upload all like we have like a Google Doc folder, and I was just gonna like, upload you guys with all the information that
Google Docs.
No. Oh my.
I'm done.
Yeah, I think we've kind of dropped to about as low of a low as we can get.
No, so
What, is it break time?
It's about break time. I was just gonna lead this conversation to its natural conclusion and then try to.
Okay. No, so yeah, I just upload you guys with like all the information I uncovered or whatever, and I'm just like, all right. That's that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I guess we just see you guys like reading her like briefing, right? And I think the last thing we get before we go to break is we Zeva has just been like listening the whole time, right? And she sees you guys start to like pull up this information. And then she just kind of like raises her hand and she just says, what should I do?
Oh my gosh.
We break
Dylan
there?
volunteers to stay behind with her.
What? No, she has to be a part
Yes.
of the team.
Nice.
Wait a second. Are you
Not right
suggesting that
now.
she just like
Yeah.
come down into the bowels?
That sounds. You guys are the worst. That's a horrible idea.
This is how she needs to be able to cope. This is her personality. This is
By
how
getting
she's
her
going to.
shot. She's an NPC.
What? No.
She's 12.
She's an NPC for crying out loud. There's no plot armor.
She probably has like 4 health, dude.
Or health and no plot armor?
Yeah.
Hey,
Not
that just
Ironhide.
means that our characters have more emotional depth because this character that we grew attached to only had 4 health. Or it'll allow Fergus to practice his resurrection.
It's pretty testy. I don't. That's yeah.
I mean, it's totally up to you guys, right? Like, what?
Gosh.
What are you guys thinking?
I mean,
Well,
I'm not for splitting the party.
Are you gonna give her a laser pistol
Right.
to just like say,
No,
all right,
so-
come on?
no.
Oh
So
my
she's
gosh.
so Evelyn just kind of walks over to her. No, she stays right where she is. She just says, "Well, why don't you brief us on what you can do?"
And be brief about it.
I say we
Um,
cut to break there then.
Yeah, okay, I guess, but I mean, it's not gonna be much of a cliffhanger because. But yeah, we'll take a break and we'll be back shortly with more Elysian Road right after this. Stick around.
Yeah.